Do you know how people truly remember you? Do they remember your kindness, or do they remember your strength? This question seems simple, but the answer is deeply uncomfortable. Most men live their lives wanting to be remembered as good. They want to be liked. They want to be known as the one who was always there, the one who gave everything. But in the world of Niccolo Machiavelli, good intentions are often the first things to be buried. Machiavelli discovered a brutal truth 500 years ago. Generosity and power cannot sit at the same table for long. As one grows, the other inevitably shrinks. You see, money, time, and attention are not just resources, they are signals. They are a silent language that communicates who is in control, who is dependent, and who is capable of setting boundaries. Most people don't realize that their relationship with giving becomes their relationship with their own character. And this is where kindness ceases to be a virtue and transforms into a dangerous strategic weakness. Today, we are going to discuss the truth that no one wants to say out loud. We are going to talk about why those who give the most often lose the most. Not just money, but reputation, respect, and psychological dominance. We will explore how, by being too generous, you aren't building a bridge, you are building a cage. If you are ready to see the world without its romantic mask, stay. Because after this, you will never see being nice the same way again. Chapter 1. The Trap of the Useful Man. Machiavelli's warning starts with a psychological shift. When you give without limits, people don't see you as a saint. Human nature follows a predictable path of degradation. First, they see you as good. Then, they see you as useful. Finally, they see you as obligated. At this final stage, you are no longer the giver. In their minds, you have become a debtor. You owe them the generosity they have grown accustomed to. Machiavelli observed that uncontrolled generosity doesn't bind people to you, it binds you to them. Human psychology is programmed to normalize whatever is received for free. The moment a gift becomes a habit, it is no longer a gift, it is a right. And the moment you stop, you aren't seen as someone who ran out of resources. Sen are seen as a traitor. People do not remember what you gave. They remember what they can no longer take. This is the entitlement loop. Your past kindness becomes the very weapon used to guilt-trip you today. The Machiavellian truth: gratitude is a short-lived emotion. Habit is a permanent state of mind. Never let your kindness become someone else's habit. Chapter 2. Money as a language of power. In the Machiavellian world, power doesn't shout. It is understood through silence and action. Money is the most potent dialect of this language. When you spend or give, you are sending a message. A man who gives constantly and visibly is announcing to the world, I am afraid to lose this connection. I am using my resources to keep you here. This is not a signal of abundance. It is a signal of dependency. The human mind reads this signal instantly and concludes, this person has no bargaining power. And a man without bargaining power can never command respect. Respect is reserved for those who stand on their own, those who are not required to give, but choose to. Machiavelli noted that we respect those who are independent because independence carries a hidden threat: the ability to walk away. When you carry others for too long, they stop seeing you as a person and start seeing you as a function. You are the provider, the ear, the bank. Functions don't have feelings, They just have duties. If you tire under the weight, the people you are carrying won't help you up. They will be angry that you let them down. Chapter 3. The Death of Loyalty in the Shadow of Comfort. We are told that if we take care of people, they will be loyal to us. Machiavelli calls this a delusion. Loyalty is not born in comfort, it is forged in effort. When something is obtained without risk, without waiting, and without sacrifice, the human brain devalues it. If your help is always available, it becomes worthless. Think about it. Difficulty creates a story. Effort creates value. Risk creates a bond. When you provide everything on a silver platter, you remove the story. You kill the value. You dissolve the bond. The person receiving from you stops contributing to the relationship because they don't have to. And when someone stops contributing, they stop caring. Machiavelli's analysis shows that people are loyal to their own interests, not to your heart. They are loyal to the order you provide. The moment that order is disrupted, the moment you set a boundary, the loyalty vanishes because it was never rooted in you, it was rooted in the convenience you provided. The lesson: if you want someone to be loyal to you, make them earn your generosity. People value what they pay for, whether the currency is money, time, or effort. Chapter 4. The Internal Erosion. Generosity is often praised as a path to peace, but for the chronic giver, it is a source of constant anxiety. Machiavelli points out that the generous man is never truly free. He is haunted by silent questions. How much more do I have to give? What happens if I say no? Will they still like me if I stop? This is not virtue. It is psychological imprisonment. You are no longer taking actions, you are reacting to the expectations of others. This tension consumes your internal energy. You become a reactive figure rather than a sovereign leader. The real destruction happens within. By constantly ignoring your own boundaries to satisfy others, you lose your sense of self. Your identity becomes defined by the needs of the people around you. Machiavelli warns that you can lose money and regain it, but if you lose your internal clarity, your fortuna, you are finished. A man who cannot say no to others has already said no to himself. Chapter 5. Respect is earned with boundaries, not gifts. You cannot buy respect. Respect is a high-priced commodity that must be extracted through the imposition of boundaries. To many, setting a boundary feels cold or selfish. But to Machiavelli, a boundary is the clearest expression of identity. It tells the world where you end and where your standards begin. People don't measure you by what you give. They measure you by what you refuse to tolerate. The nice guy is predictable and therefore easily ignored. The boundary setter is calculated and therefore taken seriously. When you set a boundary, you accept a risk, the risk of being disliked. The man who is willing to be disliked is perceived as powerful. The man who is terrified of being disliked is perceived as a tool. Machiavelli's fear is not about being a tyrant. It is about being an unshakable pillar. When people know exactly where your line is drawn, they stop testing you. They begin to adjust their tone, their demands, and their behavior to fit your world. Chapter 6. Strategic Generosity. Does this mean you should never be generous? No, it means you should never be visibly, predictably generous. Machiavelli's most refined teaching is this: true generosity is silent. If your kindness is known, it becomes a target. It is measured, compared, and exploited. But invisible generosity is different. It provides support without creating an obligation. It helps without creating a resource label for yourself. Strategic generosity is selective. Not everyone deserves your best. Unpredictable. If they can't time it, they can't plan to exploit it. Silent. No stage, no applause, no expectations. By keeping your kindness off the books, you retain your freedom. You are not the giver in the play. You are the architect behind the scenes. You remain the one who decides, and the one who decides is the one who rules. Conclusion: the choice between being good and being whole. Machiavelli doesn't want to make you a bad person. He wants to make you a strong person, because in this world, the weak, good man is eventually consumed by the very people he tried to save. And when he is gone, his goodness goes with him. But the strong man who knows how to hold his ground can actually protect his resources and use them for what truly matters. This script is not a lesson in morality. It is a manual for survival. If you are tired of being the one who is always drained, the one who is only called when something is needed, it is time to change your language. Stop speaking the language of unconditional giving and start speaking the language of strategic boundaries. Stop trying to be remembered for your kindness and start being respected for your strength. Because in the end, love is a fickle emotion that changes with the wind, but respect is a stone foundation that remains long after the storm has passed. What kind of man do you want to be? The one who gave until he was empty, or the one who stood tall until he was respected? The choice, as always, is yours. If this perspective challenged you, stay with us. In our next video, we will dive into why people stop listening to you and how to reclaim your voice in a world that tries to drown you out. The game is on. Are you playing, or are you being played?